Hey guys, Sophia here for my great challenge. I've had requests for a sewing tutorial on how to make masks. The ones that have the extendable part in the middle, that are basically just like the surgical masks. So I'm gonna do that today because I spent the whole weekend literally making masks for my team. So I'm just gonna give you a quick update on what's going on here, and then why I'm doing this and what I plan on using it for, and then I'll show you the tutorial. So if you're watching the news, today is Sunday the 29th of March. New York just announced that they just about 60,000 cases. New Jersey didn't announce the numbers for today, but we were at 11,000 and so almost 12,000 yesterday. We have 9 cases in my town. Now my town is only 13,000 people and we're only 2 square miles. So it's scary. And then town over is 55 cases. The other town over's got about 25 cases. So it's getting really close, and I'm still going to work. There's less and less people on the streets. But I have to be honest, Jersey City, like I don't know what's going on with Jersey City, guys. They're just not following the curfew or any of the recommendations. I'm driving around to go from patient to patient because I'm still part of the first responders for mental health and crisis. And I'm seeing people hanging out, like literally hanging out on the stoop. They're hanging out, like no masks, no gloves, they're just hanging out. And it's scary. And as a result of their behavior, now Jersey City is the highest number of cases in the state of New Jersey, and it's probably going to get worse. They already have testing sites in Jersey City. I think there's 2. There's one on Marine Boulevard, you wouldn't know, and then the other one is on 440. It's pretty scary out there, okay? I have to be honest. People are really, really sick, and there's a lot of talk about whether or not they should have done it earlier. Should we all shut down? Should we do a massive quarantine? No quarantine? Relax, no relax? Don't relax. Don't relax. I just spoke to Mom. It's pretty bad in France. It's really bad. And remember, France is only 60 million people. And they have something like 37,000 cases. I remember telling Mom, oh my God, you guys have 16 cases. Yeah, they're 34,000 now. And Mom is fairly convinced that that's not an accurate reporting. They have way more. But she's hunkered down. She's got food. She's got everything she needs, and so is my sister, so there's nothing to worry about. So why am I making these? Because my company only gave us 1 N95 each, and the nurse's N95 elastic band already broke. I had to fix that. I'm doing the mask repair shop at 8 a.m. every day at the office. Like whoever's got a mask that needs repair. I'm sewing, stapling, re-gluing, doing all sorts of things with the N95. So we only have 1 mask. And you know you're not supposed to reuse them, but we've had our mask since Friday the 13th. And it's the 30th. We've been using the same mask. So what we do is basically at the end of the day, we wipe a mask with Clorox wipes, inside and outside, and we'll let them dry. I'll let mine dry in the sunshine if the sunshine. But that's basically what we're doing because we only have 1 mask. So I had to figure out a way to protect our masks so that, like, that's it, that's all we have. So I'm making fabric masks. Now the fabric masks are not standalone masks. The CDC is very clear on this. You will not hear me tell you wear this and you'll be okay, because you're not. This is fabric. This is not an N95. This is not going to help you or save you from getting the coronavirus. This is only meant to protect your other mask, okay? So I'm going to show you a demo of what I'm doing. And these masks, by the way, Carolyn sent me 4 of those. Carolyn, you are a God-sent angel because my N95 split in the middle. Yeah, so she sent me this. I'm gonna look absolutely, utterly ridiculous. We don't care, okay? So what I do is that you put your N95 or your regular other mask. This is not an N95, but it's got a really good seal. And it's got somewhat of a hard shell, and I think you can put a filter on it. And then what I do is that I basically, let me move my hair out of the way because the hair tends to, you know, usually I have my hair in the bun anyway. All right, so what I do is that I take the mask that I make, and I'm going to show you exactly how I made this today. And I put this one on like this. Like that, okay? And what it does is that I'm still getting the filtration that I need from my regular mask, but I'm protecting it from dust and elements or whatnot. So it helps me keep my mask, my N95 mask, longer because it's not being roughened up. Do you see what I mean? Now, if you want to, and if you don't want to use, or if you don't have an N95, by all means, what you can do is take a bunch of tissue paper, whatever, and put it on one side here, and then you apply this on. I don't want to put it on because I got lipstick on. But there's other ways to use those masks, or you can put that over a blue mask if you have a surgical mask. But the bottom line is these are not meant to help you not catch the virus. They are meant to protect your existing mask, okay? Now, some people are making those with pockets, and in the pockets you put a filter. I don't have the filters, so it's not helping me. it's not. But if you would want to do that, make one with the pocket, it's basically the same thing. You just would have, the back of it would have a slit open here with, you know, you can zigzag the edges, and then you basically make a pocket, or you leave one opening on one side here and you slip your thing in. But anyway, that's the mask I'm making. The hell with the lipstick. This is what it looks like without the N95. In regular allergy and cold season, it probably would help you not catch a cold. So that's not a bad idea to have on hand in your bag. But during the virus outbreak, you definitely want something else underneath it. So, do I have lipstick? All over now. I wash my mask. I have a whole bunch. I wash my masks every day. All right. You can also do them where there's a front and a back, but this one is easy to figure out which one is the front or the back because of the way it's sewn. You'll figure it out. When I'm sewing it, you can tell because there's a part that's so flat, and then there's a part where there's the flap that goes around it, so that part is on the inside. But yeah, you just wash them, give them a good iron, and they're ready to go. This little pleat here is nicely ironed, and because it's stitched in place, that pleat is not going to go away. It's always going to be there. So anyway, today I'm showing you how to make this mask. Here we go. So to make the mask that has the elastics on the side and kind of like the pleat in the front that extends, I'm just grabbing a piece of fabric that I have that's not even square or anything. It's just a scrap piece of fabric. If you're gonna use fabric that has kind of direction, like this one, the leaves are going up, you want to have them going horizontal, not vertical. If you're gonna cut this way, I need a piece that is 14 inch by 8 inches. So you want to have the pattern going up on the length side, not on the width. I don't know if I'm making sense. So I'm going to start by lining up my piece of fabric here on my mat, and I'm going to count 8 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And cut that out, making sure that this is nice and straight. Okay, right, so the pattern is going upwards this way. And then I'm going to cut at 14. So let me move that. I'm inserting right here the metric sizes as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's what the mask, the front and the back, is going to be made of. And then I want to cut 2 strips that are 2 inches by 6 inches. So here I have 4 inches, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't need this. I'm going to cut another one in half here, so that makes it 2 strips that are 2 inches wide, and I want them 6 inches long. This doesn't have to be super accurate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is going to be the 2 sides of the mask. So I have the 14 by 8, my 2 sides here, there are 2 by 6. I'm getting some elastic band. Now elastic band is really hard to find right now. So what I did is purchase the 1 inch length, and believe it or not, you can actually cut it and it doesn't fray. Let me show you. So I'm taking my 1 inch strip here, and I'm just going to follow the ribs and cut right in a rib and keep going. And what I need is 2 lengths of elastic that is 6.5 inches long. And when you cut in the rib on these, you see it doesn't fray. Let me pull it, you see? It's not changing the elasticity or anything. So I want 6.5 long, 3, 6.5 right here. And then here's my other one. It's a little bit short, so I'm gonna cut some more. There we go. So this is everything you need for your mask. Your 8 by 14, 2 elastics that's 6.5, and 2 sides that are 2 by 6. We're ready to sew. First things first, taking the large piece here, fold it on itself with the right side against the right side. Notice I got the selvage here, that's okay. And we're going to sew right here at 1/4 inch. And basically what it's going to give us is kind of like a sleeve or a tube. And when you cut in the rib on these, you see it doesn't fray. Let me pull it, you see? It's not changing the elasticity or anything. So I want 6.5 long, 3, 6.5 right here. And then here's my other one. It's a little bit short, so I'm going to cut some more. There we go. So this is everything you need for your mask. Your 8x14, 2 elastics that's 6.5, and 2 sides that are 2x6. We're ready to sew. First things first, taking the large piece here, fold it on itself with the right side against the right side. Notice I got the salvage here, that's okay. And we're going to sew right here at 1/4 inch. And basically what it's going to give us is kind of like a sleeve or a tube. I had someone ask me what machine I'm using and whether I like it. Yes, I do. I do everything on it. I just wish the throat here was a little bit bigger. It's a Brother HC 1850. So now you write that down, Brother HC 1850. Really like this machine. Okay, so I'm taking my 2 pieces here. You remember I'm making like a tube. This is good side against good side. You don't need to pin this, you just match it at the corners. And we are going at 1/4 inch and sew along the edges. Do a couple backward and forward. So again, I basically made a sleeve or tube, right? So let's just flip it right side out and we're going to iron it. And you want to iron it so that the sewing line right here is all the way on top. So you want to flatten that. So now we're ready to make the pleats, and it's not that complicated. A lot of people spend time measuring. Once you've done a whole bunch of them, you really don't need to measure. You're basically doing 2 pleats here and one that's a little bit, 2 little one and one that's a little bit wider. So what you do is that you keep the part that's sewn here, right? This is just the unsewn part that's being flattened with the iron. This is the part we just stitched. So that one, you're going to bring it down like this, about 2 inches, right? And then you move it back up about 1/2 inch. That's it. That's your first pleat. See? Not complicated, right? But you do want to keep it straight. So if you have a mat like I do, use your mat to keep things straight. So here's one, and we're going to just pin this right here to the side. And again, the little fold right here, you see it? That little fold is about 1/2 inch. The bigger the fold, the less fabric you have left for the front of your mask. Okay, so you don't want to make big pleats. Okay, so here's 2. Alright, so here's my first fold. So then to make the next fold, I'm just repeating the process. I'm just going this way and that way, and I am doing a second fold right here. And this is about 1/2 inch, this is about 1/2 inch. Let's make a third one, repeat the whole process. Like this. Alright, so you should have about 1 inch of fabric right here, one fold that's about a 1/2 inch, another fold that's about a 1/2 inch, and then the rest of your mask. And the whole mask, once folded, is about 3.5 inches from here to here. So again, this is still 8, and this is about a little bit under 3.5 here. And it's the same thing behind. All right, so behind the mask is upside down. This is the front. This is the back. What do we do now? I'm going to press this and get ready to sew along the edges. This is what it looks like. So now all I have to do is go back to the machine and sew a line from here to here and from here to here, just to hold the folds and the pleats together. So here we go. I just made a line right here with the machine, and it's holding all my pleats together. So you see now the mask can expand and get back in shape. So what I'm doing now is that I'm removing just a little bit, a tiny bit of the edges. I'm going to tell you why. Because when we put the sides, this whole part here is going to get resewn anyway. But I don't want a lot of bulk here because it makes it difficult to add to the side. So here's the front of the mask. I don't really need to re-iron it or anything. And what I want to do now is put my elastic band. So what you do is that you take your band and you're going to sew one here, and then making sure you don't twist it. Let me give you a close-up. Maybe you'll see better. Here we go. Making sure you don't twist it, you're going to sew the other side of the band right here. So you just do a couple of stitches here, couple of stitches here, and then you do the same thing on the other side. You're going to sew this here, keep this flat, turn it, and sew this right here on the edges. Quarter of, again, I'm putting my little elastic band right here along the edges, put it at a 1/2 inch, and just sew over it. You can do backward too if you want. And then turn it around. Make sure you don't twist it. Go at a 1/2 inch from the bottom and do the same thing. And that gives you your preliminary mask right there. Okay, so this is sewn on one side of the mask only. You don't need to do a double one. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so it's at about a 1/2 inch from either edges here, and then you put it in a way where it doesn't twist, so it's nice and flat. Makes a nice curve. Same thing here on the other side. So now we're ready to place the sides of the mask. So these are my 2 side bands. You remember 2x6? Alright, so what I'm going to do is simply fold them in half. Like this. Along the edges. So I'm going to have bands now that are folded and are going to be 1 inch in width and 6 in length. Give it a good press. I want to have a nice fold, very sharp. Same thing here. So you take the side that's open like this and you're just going to place it along the edges like so. And then you want to have about 1 inch overlap like this. And that 1 inch, you're going to fold it over. You're making like a sandwich, you see that? So it's folded over on this side. Give it a pin if you're afraid you're going to lose it, or you can just press it, all right? And then on this side here, so let me go here, so I'm using the marks. And then on this side here, I have a little bit more than 1 inch, so I'm just gonna cut at about 1 inch, so I'm not using this. And same thing here. I'm going along the edges. Let me move that back down a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to fold it, same thing, on the back of it. So in the back, I have the 2 parts right here that I folded. I'm just pinning this so that it stays in place, and doing the same thing here. Pinning it so that it stays in place. All right, so on the front it's going to look like this, and then in the back it looks like this, where I have the regular mask and then the 2 little flaps, one here, one here. And I'm doing the same thing on the other side. So on the front of my mask, I have the band row edge to row edge, and then I put my band right here and I folded it over the edges here. So on the other side, I have the mask and then 2 flaps, one here and one here. It's pinned so I can really move it. And they're basically kissing like this on either side. So all I need to do now is go back to the machine, and I'm just going to sew a line at 1/4 inch from here to here. I don't even need to do back stitches. I'm just going straight across at 1/4 inch from here to here, and I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side from here to here at 1/4 inch. Right? So it's covering the whole front here, and it's holding my 2 flaps together. And you'll see in a second what we're going to do to flip it around. So doing the same thing on the other side. And here we go. Straight line from one edge to the other with my 2 flaps on the other side. Let's go to the iron board and I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. So now to finish my ends, what you need to do is put your thumb here and you're going to flip, hoping you can see it. You're going to flip that little band that you made. So once I flip it, it basically looks like this. I have my mask, the elastic band, and then I have this band right here. All right, let me do the same thing on the other side. Just take the little band you sewn and you're going to flip it inside out like this. All right, and this is the reason why I cut out a little bit of the edges earlier, because this is going to create bulk. So now that it's flipped inside out, we're going to flip it in a way where the elastic band is popping on the edges like this. Do you see what I did? Kind of like a paper bag. So you're going to flatten this, and this is where you're giving it a really good press. So technically this is what the mask looks like. It's not finished yet. And then the two parts that I've just pressed back in with the elastic band coming out right there in between the two. So again, it looks like a gift. So again, it looks like a gift bag, basically. I hope you can see how this is constructed, okay? So now what I need to do is basically sew this part here, and all I'm doing is zigzag. You can do 2 lines if you want to, but I find it difficult because of the bulk that's underneath. I just do a straight zigzag from one edge to the other, making sure that whatever I got, like this little part here that's poking out, making sure that you place that back in so it doesn't poke out, and that's about it. Just a straight zigzag from one end to the other, and you want to secure it by going back stitch on both ends. So you start forward, do a little bit backward, go straight along, and then once you're at the end, do a few stitches back just to give it a nice secure sewing line. And you know, giving instruction on sewing is not easy because I'm not sure if I'm giving the right directions. Okay, so I am doing it where the elastic band is that way, and I'm avoiding the bulk. Instead of having the bulk, you know, the bump right here of the edges on this side of the machine, I'll leave it on that side. Okay, so let me go on my regular zigzag, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do a couple forward, a couple backward. Okay. So this is what the front looks like, and this is what the back looks like, the part that I just sewn together. Okay, and this is not going anywhere because we already did it a couple of times over. One time just for the elastic band, and another time when we place the band, the 6-inch band over it prior to turning it around. So let me do the other side, and I'm doing the same thing with the other side. I'm putting the bulky part of it on the outside so that it doesn't interfere with my machine. Alright, well, that's it. That's the mask. This is how to make it. I hope you found this to be helpful. I'll say it again, this is not to save you from any virus or anything. This is basically to protect your other mask, or, you know, in regular cold season, if you have a little bit of a flu or allergy season or whatever, maybe this is something that you want to wear on a regular basis. But during a virus outbreak like this, the mask alone is not enough, okay? This, again, is meant to protect your other mask, so that you can, because we all have a shortage. so you can keep it longer, even though I don't recommend that you reuse them, but there's a shortage, and you'll hear stories from all over the country of nurses and first responders who basically have to reuse their mask. It's not just me, and I'm not, going poor me or anything. I'm just telling you that's the reality we're dealing with right now. We all were issued one mask, and some of our masks are falling apart after 2 weeks. So mine is still okay, and then thank goodness Carolyn sent me some. So that's the story. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye.